The Arizona Cardinals nearly made the playoffs in 2024. And so, how can they attack the 2025 draft and take that big next step and play in the postseason? My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan. And today we are breaking down another 3-round mock draft for the Arizona Cardinals. Before we get into that, let's do all the YouTube things. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment, and tackle that bell to get notified when new videos come out. And Ryan, let's pull this up here. So, this is a guy who we just really like just in general, but also to going to Arizona. And I could see come draft night being the guy that they end up taking just based off their overall needs. I know the Cardinals did end up signing Dalvin Tomlinson in free agency. However, if you're looking at long term gains, I really like Kenneth Grant in this Jonathan Gannon system here. I like the other moves that they have made as well too with some of their other free agent signings that we'll get to in a second. But Kenneth Grant, he's one of the main reasons why that Michigan defense was so solid this year. The only real, honestly, great part of that Michigan team this past year. Mason Graham, he got a lot of national coverage as well. He's going to probably be a top 5 pick, but Kenneth Grant also has just as much say, I think, to the overall dominance that that defensive line had going in
Oh yeah.
throughout the 2024 college season. What does Kenneth Grant bring to this Jonathan Gannon defense here in Arizona?
He brings a level of run stuffing capabilities that they just haven't had. And then also, too, he has some pass rush upside. So he can be a true 3-down defensive tackle for them. And so I really like what he brings to the table, his physicality, his ability to get upfield for being 6'5", 340. 335 is just really impressive. And so I think you plug him in right in the middle of that defense, and you let these outside linebackers really pin their ears back and start getting after the passer, and let him collapse the pocket from the top. I think that's probably what he's gonna do best. They could also go with like a Tyleek Williams. I think that's an interesting option. Derek Harmon, another one. If they want to go with more of an outside linebacker type edge rusher, James Pierce Jr. and Donovan Ezaraku are on the board as well. So I like their options here. Kenneth Grant just kind of seems to be one that we keep going back to. It just makes a lot of sense, I think, for the Cardinals to go and get that big run stuffing defensive tackle.
Yeah, and I think too when I look at this team and I look at the team needs, I really like what they've done on the offensive side of the ball. Not saying that they're not going to address that here. And honestly, that secondary, I don't think that secondary is that horrible, especially too led by Buda Baker, and I think they got some good young talent that has played well. It's this front seven that just really needs to keep on improving and just finding some more talent. And as you said, you just go get this huge guy with explosive capabilities at 16 overall, and I just like the big progression that this Cardinals defense will be making under Jonathan Gannon. And props to Jonathan Gannon too. As long as he's been there, we've been saying this throughout this entire time over the past couple of years. It's just he gets this Cardinals defense and this team playing extremely hard. I think you go get a guy like Kenneth Grant and get him in there. He's going to be great for this team. I think another guy that would be awesome for this Cardinals defense, sticking on the defensive front seven, go get a Kyle Kennard as well. He can kind of be that outside linebacker guy for them. They have signed Josh Sweat in free agency. They've also gotten a couple other guys too in that linebacking room, but when it comes to edge rushers and outside linebackers, haven't really addressed too much outside of just the Josh Sweat signing, which is a big signing. But still, you want to get some younger guys in there, want to get some guys with some more explosive capabilities to get after the quarterback.
Yeah, and Kyle Kennard is an older prospect. He'll be 24, I think, on draft night. But his pass rush capabilities and also his abilities to be on the field for all 3 downs, I think, is a big plus for him. This is a really deep edge class, so you have guys like Princely Umanmiel and Kyle Kennard, David Walker. Like there's so many edge rushers that are going to be coming off the board at this point in the draft, and I think it's going to be really fun to see which one of these guys really pan out. Kyle Kennard is one of my favorites. Like I think they could also go with like a Shamar Turner, who's like a kind of a 5 technique, like pass rushing defensive tackle, or like a 3-4 end. And so Omar Norman Lott is another pass rushing defensive tackle, although he's a little bit bigger. They also do have a need at corner. So Siobhan Ravel, I think, would be a potential option here as well. Just he's going to fall because of his injury concerns. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Mhm.
lastly, kind of moving on to Jeffrey Bassa, the linebacker from Oregon, going to be a leader in this defense, but a really athletic, rangy linebacker that I think could come in and give them some really good snaps early on in his career.
Yes, yeah, no. And once again, too, I think sticking with that front seven is Jeffrey Bassa is going to be that guy that can come in. A lot of other different routes they could go in that linebacking room as well with Schlesinger and also Chris Paul Jr. Also, that I think they can go and get there. And as we talked about, they have had some free agent signings, but if you're looking at still just bringing in more talent, more youth into that front seven, so their first three picks to me, I do think they only have 5 picks as a whole. I think they're going to want to really drive in on getting the best talent for them there, as that has been their weakness because they were one of the top rushing teams last year. I think too, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray started to develop a little bit more, and I think they're going to take a giant step forward in 2025. They better. Marvin Harrison Jr. is on my dynasty team, so really need him to like pick things up. But Trey McBride's great. Like so, as I said, and I really like what they've done with the offensive line, and they have a good system there. So it's really if they can just get this front seven to just improve and really just kind of be average, maybe slightly above average. I think this Cardinals team, there's a big opportunity for the Cardinals, I think, to win the NFC West in 2025. The Seahawks, I think they've kind of waved the white flag and like, hey, we're going through a rebuild now with trading off a couple
Yeah.
of their key stars. I also think as well too, the 49ers, they still have talent there, but they're also kind of they've traded away a couple of guys as well and let some guys walk. And so are they also going to go through a rebuild? The Rams are going to obviously be the big one and what they're doing over there in LA with their defensive front four, and then obviously too though have moved on from Cooper Cup, even though they also then did get Devontae Adams as well. Matt Stafford's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I think it's going to come down to the Cardinals and the Rams here in this kind of divisional race, and I think the Cardinals are taking a giant step forward here by really focusing on the front seven.
Yeah, and they were right there for at the end of the season in this divisional race. Like they at one point were leading and
Yeah.
controlled their own destiny. So I think it's going to be really important for them to just kind of continue to build that supporting cast. And yeah, hopefully the stars that they've drafted in the past few years can really step up and start to be those stars on the field. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of this 3-round mock draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you have done differently? Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.